Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the STG Guard. It's a Tier 8 Soviet premium medium tank with a reverse turret, or not a reverse turret, but a turret at the back. And this one is on the North Spawn of Redshire under the command of RNG is my... Well, I can't say that word because if I do, YouTube will demonetize my video. Yep, so I'll just have to say it's the person who's all but previously known as RNG is Toxic. Well, it's another one of his videos, but he did actually for a short while have a name which unfortunately I used on one of the previous videos, and YouTube instantly demonetized it when they saw that word in the title. So if you actually see the title to this video, it will have 4 asterisks, or it's 3 asterisks instead of the letters, because otherwise they'll instantly say, oh, well, that's demonetized. So there you go. Right, the tank is actually a project that started in 1949. The Soviets were trying to design a new medium tank with a turret at the rear, the transmission and the engine up front. And of course that meant the crew compartment was behind the engine and all the transmission. And the good thing about that was if the enemy actually hit the front of the tank, they wouldn't get the crew. They might take out the engine and disable it, but they wouldn't take out the crew. And the crew could then potentially fire back. One of the biggest drawbacks though with having an engine up front with the transmission is that you get very low gun depression. In fact, this one's got only 6 degrees. So yeah, unfortunately it means you have to create artificial gun depression by actually shooting over the side of the vehicle, where you can actually drop the gun a bit more than 6 degrees. So you have to be creative. But it does have very good armour. It has an incredibly good turret as well. 210mm of armour at the front of the turret, 180 at the sides and 45 at the rear. And so yes, it is quite capable of defending itself. And you're less likely to suffer from a crew member going down, more likely to suffer from an engine or a transmission failure, which means you might be disabled. Well, RNG decided to fire on that T-44. Unfortunately, he didn't get a hit and he has been spotted, so he's going to have to get the hell out of here quick. Otherwise, if somebody crosses the ridgeline, they might be able to get a shot into him. You can see it's a very nicely rounded turret, cast turret. Oh, and the Arty hits him. In fact, that was a near miss. And plenty of room for the crew, you might say, but it's a bit flat. But then most Soviet tankers were quite small people. In fact, I believe they were much smaller than the average Soviet fighting man. In fact, if you actually went for selection, if you were a tall man, you probably got sent to the infantry units. If you were actually quite a small man, you ended up in the tank corps. Oh, that one ricocheted right off the front armour. You saw the shell go shooting skyward. If only we'd used shell cam, I think that shell would have gone right up into the sky immediately after he hit. But actually, it's quite funny when you use shell cam. Oh, Barass getting very close. He's trying to angle so he can get some gun depression on him. But here comes the Barask. He was spotted, so it's a good job he did pull forward at that point. So far all he's got is spotting assist. He hasn't actually got any real damage at all. But we know the Barask is just around the corner, and we don't really fancy losing 720 hit points in a few seconds. You can see where he is. He's actually just around the corner, and he's just outside 50 meters. So I think that he's not spotted at the moment, although he was spotted when the Barask did get very close. Okay, we can see the Barass now and the Budgie. And I'm not sure if they can see us, but we're certainly spotting them. And over 1,000 hit points of spotting assist now, which means he's potentially got a spotter badge. Now the reload time is normally 12.46 seconds. He's got 11.03, and this is a 122mm gun doing 390 alpha. In fact, it's the highest tier 8 alpha for this type of tank, for the mediums. Normally, you get tier 8 heavies which have got 122mm guns, but it's very unusual to see a tier 8 medium with a 122. Normally it's got 100mm or something of that nature. This gun's got very good accuracy and very strong frontal armor. As I said, it's mostly the engine and the transmission, and even the armor on the hull is 100mm at the front and 45 at the sides and rear. About the bad thing about this tank really is its DPM, and that guy's looking straight at us. Oh, but he punches through the frontal plate. I guess those that 212mm of penetration really did help there. 212, and with the APCR that goes up to 248. Yeah, the IS-3 didn't like that, but he's only showing his roof now, but it's a very difficult shot at this range. But he takes him out, and that just proves what I said about the accuracy. It's incredibly good. Unfortunately, the long reload means that he wasn't able to get a shot in the IS straight away, but I believe he will momentarily. Yep. 425 high roll. The IS is looking in this direction, but I don't think he can see RNG. And we can see that we tracked him because we got eagle eye. And there goes the IS. So he's got 2 kills now. 2 heavy tanks down. I think this goes to show this is a medium tank which is quite capable. Okay, VK3601H punches it into the side of the vehicle. Didn't get the ammo rack he was hoping for. Of course, he doesn't really want to be exposed to that budgie. He could have a 100mm gun, so he's being rather cautious about not allowing that guy to get an easy shot. Notice you can turn the turret all the way around as well, which is on some other tanks you can't turn the turret all the way around, but this one's got the turret can fully rotate, so you can go up rear end to the enemy, and that means you can get a quick getaway if you hit the W key and move quick to get out of the way. It just takes a bit of getting used to driving in reverse. But I suppose most Arty players, because they've driven the Crusader SP, which does drive in reverse. Oh, nice shot there! The CS52 List Fox took him around 357. He's racked up just under 2k of damage already and 1.5k of spotting. And there's, well, they're 1 tank down on the enemy, but he's actually had quite a big effect upon the game. And that Barask is still alive. He's potentially still around the corner, and the Tiger, well, although he's working that corner trying to spot them, he's in a bit of danger really. Just having a quick look back, because that Fox might try to sneak in and take out our Fox, and it looks like the Tiger is taking damage, but it's Arty damage. The M44 on the enemy team appears to be quite good. Although he's only got 1 kill and the M12 on the enemy team's got 2. Okay, Tiger 2's coming down this channel, so we need to get out of the way of him. Hello, where are you going? Okay, he's actually working his way past us. Now, we are taking a risk, because if Arty's dialed in on this corner, and yes, you saw that, Arty round just appeared. If Arty was dialed in on this corner, there's the budgie. Puts him around into the side for 386 low roll, but the budgie appears to be disconnected. He's not moving. Oh, now he is. Maybe he was typing or something. And we've got... oh, there's it. There you go. There's the kill shot. He did take 201 hit points of damage from the budgie, so yes, he probably did have a 100mm gun. But there's no sign of the Barask. But there's certainly sign of the M44, and that's what I was worried about. No sign of him down there. I can only suppose that he actually doubled back and is somewhere on the other side of the battlefield. It's now 2 versus 3, but the missing enemy is the Barask, and also they've got their Arty. And considering that RNG has most of his hit points left, he could go off, kill the enemy Arty, and then try and find the Barras. But I think the Barras is probably going to try and find him. No Sixth Sense gone off yet, so he knows he's fairly safe. When the Sixth Sense goes off when you're crossing an open field, that's when you need to be worried, especially when there's a Barras. But the thing is that the Barras does have, as you know, poor gun handling, aiming time. So I think if you do get spotted, you've probably got slightly more than 3 seconds to actually dash for cover. Quite a bit more than 3 seconds. Trouble is though, once he is dialed in, that could be 720 hit points you're going to lose in a quick hurry. It's the long reload on this gun that really lets it down, this tank. It's got a nice punch, but it's very slow to unload. Well, he's not been spotted so far. And remember, the enemy's got 2 mediums, the Liss and the... sorry, not they've got 2 mediums, it's not the Barras we're looking for, it's the Liss. I was totally under the impression that it was the other one. The Barras was taken out. And obviously we know that the Liss has actually been hit. Because we hit him. I suppose you could say that I was having a Jingles moment. Ah! Tree went down. Somebody is just the other side of this ridgeline. Okay, he's marked it, and it's the Liss. Okay, well that's good because he's one shot. But trouble is, the Arty is going to be favouring him. The Tiger's way up the other end of the map. No help to us over there. And if we go around the corner here, the Liss being a fast medium, this tank will only do 50 kilometers an hour. The Liss will try to get away. Okay, he knows we're here now, he can see us. And there you go, he's out the game. He did get one hit on us though for 304, and there's the Arty. The M12 is over by the castle. Well, over by the road to the castle. That's it. Maneuver so he can't work out where you're going. He's over here. We're loaded, ready to go. There he is. And he's out the game. Tremendous accuracy on this gun. It really is good. I have the feeling the M44 though is elsewhere. I don't get the impression he's here. I think he's up the other end actually. If he's a good M44 driver, if he's a What Arty Noobs member for that matter, he would know to relocate to the other end of the map. And there's the 2-minute warning. I have the feeling though, with the speed of the Tiger 2 and of course the STG Guard, this is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack, because he could be hiding just about anywhere. But remember, we did get hit by the M44 when we were over on the east side, northeast side of the map. When we were heading towards the Zeppelin. He's just doing a quick check of the moat, because that's another place you can hide. Nope, he's not in the moat. No Sixth Sense has gone off, so we're not within sight of him yet. Okay, the Tiger's decided to start capping, but unfortunately now we're at the wrong end of the map. And I think this is a case that RNG should have headed for the cap after killing the Liss. Well, after killing the M12 for that matter, because it would be tremendously difficult to locate and kill the M44. Remember, he's based on the Walker Bulldog, which means he's quite fast for an Arty. Running out of time. There's no way the Tiger can cap. In fact, he has been reset. So the M44 has fired whilst we've been hunting for him. And he did a reset because the Tiger sat in the wrong spot. He sat behind the building thinking he'd get protection, but of course the building's the obvious spot for you to be in. And you never sit behind that building because that's the first place that you're going to fire. And we run out of time, so it's a draw. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for RNG is my, yep, you know, and he managed to get a duelist for taking out 2 tanks who damaged him. A fighter badger getting at least 4 kills, he ended up with 5. A 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and yes, he did pick up the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game overall. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, you can see he did get the highest damage in the game with 3,308 hit points of damage. The second highest damage was done by the CS52 lists on the enemy team, 2,132. And the third highest damage was that Barask, which I badly got mistaken for the list. I thought that it was actually the Barask that was actually still alive, but no, he'd already been killed. So when it came to kills, it was RNG again, with 5 kills, 3 kills to the Barask, the CS52 list, and nobody else managed to get more than that. And when it came to base XP, yes, I'm afraid he is the highest because he's got the, well, not afraid he's highest, he is highest because he got the highest base, highest damage in the game, 840, but the next highest scorer was the GW Panther on his own team with 501, followed by the Panther, the AMD 178P rather, on the enemy team with 486, and I suppose that's because of the spotting he was doing. Yeah, 2,072 hit points of spotting assist in that one. If we look at detail, we can see he fired 14 rounds, got 11 direct hits and 10 penetrations, damage of 3,308 hit points, of which 1,599 were at more than 300 meters. So it's a very accurate gun over long range. You saw the way he disposed of that IS-3, and there was only the top of his roof showing, but he still managed to put the round in there. 3 hits received, 2 penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and 4 hits by way of splash damage. Yeah, unfortunate, some of the hits he couldn't avoid getting either. 390 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 8 enemy vehicles spotted, 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 destroyed, and 1,840 hit points of spotting assist. He was doing a very good job, both in the bush and also down on that northeast corner of the map, spotting for his team so they could put shots in, but of course he was doing damage himself. On a free-to-play account, he earned 71,839 credits, 20,000 for personal missions payout, 7,200 for the Achievements Award, that's for getting a Battle Hero medal in a losing or drawn game, 99,039 credits altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he still took away a profit of 59,287 credits. 840 base XP, 487 for the achievements, 133 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 1,460 experience points altogether. I suppose in the end you might say that he could have gone over and capped after killing the M12. He knew where the M12 was because he got hit by him, but he just didn't know where the M44 was, and if he'd gone over and capped and the Tiger 2 had then come to join him in the cap, I think they might have won. In fact, I'm pretty certain they would have won. But of course, as you know, a lot of players at top level tend to say, well, I want that extra bonus and I want that extra kill so I can get further up the table on the marks of excellence and become a better player. So they go off hunting. They think that, oh, because it's an Arty, it's easy, it's slow, it's I can find it and no problem. But unfortunately on a map like Redshire, where there's loads of hiding places, virtually impossible for him to be certain that he could actually get a kill or find that M44. And I'm pretty certain that M44 did go straight up from where the M12 was, through the castle, up into the northwest corner, and then turned and actually made his way along the back row. And he must have been sitting in the northeast corner at the time, waiting for the game to end. So there you go. Could have been a win. But RNG wanted that extra bit of hit points and, of course, XP. And unfortunately, it didn't pay off in the end. That poor Tiger 2, again, he went to the wrong position. You don't sit behind the house. If there's only Arty left in the game on the enemy team, or if it's their major opponents have gone, you sit next to the water in that little dip area of the cap circle. And if the enemy does fire at the house and they get no response, then you can move over there. but you don't do it straight away. I mean, most people think, oh, I'll go and hide there. They hide in the most obvious place, and of course it just doesn't pay off for them. And if you've seen my recent video with the Hummel, you notice that I knew or suspected that he'd be sitting behind the house, and he was sitting behind the house, and I got an easy kill on him. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm.
And then hanging out at home watching TV.
And thank you for watching.